Hi everyone, I just wanted to give you a quick tutorial on how to make your own virtual classroom. These classrooms are done in Google Slides, so the first thing you're going to need to do is open up a blank Google Slide document. This will be titled Untitled Presentation, which is kind of boring. You don't really want your Google Class or your virtual classroom to be titled that, so name it whatever you want. I'm just going to name mine Classroom 25. So when they pull up your virtual classroom, that's what it's going to be titled as. When you pull up a new Google slide, you're going to see two text boxes. You don't need those, so if you just click, drag, select both of them, and delete, it gets rid of those for you. The first thing you're going to want to do is to add a background for your virtual classroom. There's two different ways you can do this. The first way is click Insert, Image, search the web, and you can type in wall, floor. It will pull up all of these lovely different wall and floor combinations. I'm just going to click on this first one here. So when you do it this way, it does not automatically size for your background, so you have to drag and resize everything. This is great for if there's like maybe a tree that you don't want, you can resize it to get and crop it to get rid of that tree. Another way you can do this is if you actually just click on background, choose image, and then type in wall floor on the Google image search. And when you click on the one that you would like, it will actually size it for you. The nice thing about this also is you cannot move this background. It is now your background and it's immovable, so you don't accidentally delete your background when you are trying to move things around. So I'm going to stick with that background because I don't really want to be able to move it. So the first thing I want to add to my classroom is a whiteboard. So I'm going to click on Insert, Image, Search the Web. And the biggest thing with Google Classrooms is you want to use the word transparent. So I'm going to search for transparent whiteboard. It pulls up a lot of different ones. My favorite is actually this one right here, and I'm going to show you why. It's just a nice rectangular whiteboard with the silver sides, and it looks like something that we would have in our classroom. The only thing is it has all these different decals on this side. So if you double click, you can actually resize and crop your image, not resize it, but crop your image for things that you don't want in there. So I'm going to get rid of all of these by dragging this line right here, and it gets rid of them so that you can't see them anymore. Then I can resize to fit my classroom. So I'm just going to put it right there. I think that's a little bit bigger than I want, so let me resize again. Just kind of play with it, get the size you want. The next thing you can do is actually add text to your whiteboard so it looks like your handwriting on the whiteboard. I'm just going to say, welcome to room 25. Click on that. Do a different font here. I think I'll use this one because it kind of looks like handwriting. Resize just a bit and put it on my whiteboard. So now it looks like I wrote welcome to room 25. Okay, the next thing I want in my classroom is a bookcase. So I'm going to go down to Insert Image from the web, get rid of whiteboard, and write bookcase. The easier bookcases to put in here are the ones that are you're looking straight on instead of at a little bit of an angle. When they're at an angle, it's harder to put things on it because you have to kind of alter the perspective of whatever you're putting on there. So the easier ones are the ones that you're looking straight on. I kind of like this one here. It's a good size. And I'm just going to put it right there. So when you type in the word transparent, you don't have that white box that sometimes you have when you're looking for clip art online, which is really nice because you want to be able to see your background. You don't want to actually see the big white box. So now that I have my bookcase here, I think I'm going to put a chair for my Bitmoji to sit on. So I'm going to insert image, search from the web, I like to type in transparent armchair. And I think I'm going to use this big one here. Has a nice high back. Okay, so now that I have my armchair, I'm ready to go and grab my Bitmoji. So for Chrome, there's an extension called Bitmoji. So it gives you this little extension tab up here. I'm going to click on it and be able to download my seated Bitmoji. So if you just right click, copy image, and then paste it right in, you have your Bitmoji. She's facing the wrong direction, so right click again. We can kind of rotate her so that she's facing the correct position. And we're going to resize her so that she is the appropriate size for the chair. Okay, just kind of move her around the chair a little bit until she's right where you want her. Okay, so now I have a bookcase, a whiteboard, a Bitmoji, a chair. Now I want something that the kids can interact with, because that's part of being the virtual classroom, is they can interact with different things in here. So I chose the book, The Wonky Donkey, to put on our bookshelf. So I did a search for The Wonky Donkey on Google here, just Wonky Donkey. It pulls up some places where you can purchase it. I don't recommend pulling the image from those. I recommend pulling them just from images here. So if you right click and copy image, go back to your Google Slides, you can paste it in. You're going to have to resize it so that it fits on the bookcase. I think it's probably good, roughly. Now you can, they're not going to be able to click on that and go anywhere. You have to add a link. So I actually found somebody reading The Wonky Donkey on YouTube. You can click this link up here and copy it, put it in for your link, and it'll bring them directly to the YouTube website, which is fine. The only drawback is then they can click anything that pops up next to it, like play this video next. And sometimes it's not very good for kids to be able to see some of the things that decide to pop up. So I actually use something called Safe Share TV. And I have a bunch of different videos that are safe for kids to be able to see. It only pulls up the video. It doesn't pull up anything else. So I'm just going to grab the link to this and I'm going to put it into my Google slide. So when you click the image of the Wonky Donkey book, up at the top, there's an insert link button. So you click that, paste in your safe share link, and hit apply. So now when the kids click on that, it will take them to the safe share and they will be able to see the Wonky Donkey read aloud. So I want to soften my room up just a little bit by adding a carpet. I already saved a carpet to my computer. There's a editing software that you can use, or an editing website that you can use. It's free. It is called LunaPic. And it's a free editor that's online. So you go to lunapic.com and you upload your picture. And I have this carpet square picture. So I'm going to pull that up. LunaPic lets you do lots of different things. First, I'm going to make the background transparent because right now it's a white background. So I'm going to make a transparent background. But I also want to change the rotation of it because I want it more long way than it is right now. So I'm just going to rotate this. So if you go up to adjust, or no, sorry, edit, rotate image, then I'll be able to just rotate it to the side like that. The other really neat thing that LunaPic lets you do is change your perspective. So under adjust, you go down to perspective. This is so that you can make it look like it's laying flat in the classroom and it's not just an up and down picture. You can do this with books that you want to put on your bookshelf. You can do it with anything that you want to put in your virtual classroom. So you just click and drag on these red lines or these red dots and it changes the perspective for you. I think that's about what it would look like if it was sitting in a classroom. So then you can either save this to your computer, or you can just go and right-click, copy image, and put it directly into your presentation. So I think I want it a little bit longer, so I'm just going to kind of click and drag, make it a little bit wider here. And you just kind of play around with it, put it where you want it, something like that. Okay, the very last thing I'm going to put in my classroom is a classroom poster. So I might type in classroom poster and see all of the different images that pop up. You can do it here. You can also go in and do a Google search for classroom poster. So classroom poster. You don't necessarily need to do a transparent poster because you can just crop it. Most posters on here are rectangular in shape. So I'm going to click on this one, and it'll pull up a preview to the side. This is the best way to grab your image because it's a little bit bigger. Right click, copy image, and go back to your Google Classroom and paste it in there. There we go. Again, I'm going to double click so that I can crop this. I'm going to drag it to the poster itself because I don't want all of those extra white background pieces. And once I have it cropped to where I want it, that's perfect. I can resize if I want to, and that looks like something that would be on my wall. Okay, I have another one, another classroom that's pretty much the exact same, but I wanted to show you what to do if you have two different slides. So I have on this slide, I have a little home button. So this might be if you want to do like an art room or a STEM room or something completely different than your main classroom. So when you go to present, kids will be able to click anywhere on the slide and it will forward it to the next slide. So the first thing you want to do is to actually hide all of the rest of the slides. Keep the first one visible, but then hide all of the rest of the slides. So you do that by going to slide and then skip slide. That way, if they click somewhere on that first slide when it's in presentation mode, they won't be able to go to the next slide. It'll just stay on that slide. Another thing you want to keep in mind, if they click anywhere, it may take them to the next slide, even if it's hidden when they're on the second slide. So to do this, I found it easy just to make a rectangular shape over the entire thing. So I'm just going to click it right down to there. I'm going to just resize it just a little bit. I'm going to put a transparent border on it. And then I'm going to put this back so that my home button will be on the top of that. So that when they click on the home button, it will take them back to that first slide. But then I also want my wonky donkey on top so they will still be able to click on that. So let me get the wonky donkey here. I'm going to have to move a couple other things here. Okay, so this I do want behind, and I want this behind that mask as well. Okay, so the only things that they will be able to click on is the wonky donkey and the home button. So if they happen to click anywhere else on here, you want it just to take them directly to that same slide. So we're going to click on the link button. There we go. The link button, and then slides in this presentation. And this is slide number 2. That way, if they click anywhere, it'll just keep them on that same slide that they're on. And then they'll be able to click on the wonky donkey. The home button, I want to add a link to that so that when they click that, it takes them back to slide number 1. And then you can make this box transparent. I keep it gray until I have everything up on top of it, just so I can tell what I have in front of this mask. So we go and we hit transparent. Then you can't even tell that that mask is there, but if they click anywhere here, it's not going to take them to the next slide. It's just going to keep them on this same slide, but they'll be able to hit the wonky donkey. It'll take them to view that YouTube tutorial. Now that you have your classroom all set up, you're going to probably want to put more stuff in there depending on your style, but you want to be able to share this to your students. There's a couple of ways you can do this. One is you can go to File, and then you can download a PDF of your classroom. This will still make it so that the kids can click on your links, but the only drawback to this is every time you make a change to your classroom, you have to save it as a PDF and you have to send that out as well. So that's where it gets a little bit tricky if you are using it for something that you're changing on a weekly basis. So if you aren't changing it and you're like, hey, this is my classroom, this is what I want it to be, cool, save it as a PDF, send it out to your kids that way. I actually prefer to publish this to the web. So if you hit publish to the web, you can, when you click publish, you're going to hit OK because you want to publish the selection. It'll give you a link for the kids to be able to follow. It's kind of a long link, so I actually use a tiny URL. But every time you go and change something on your classroom, it will automatically change it because it's published to the web, so the kids will be able to see the updated content that you put on there. So if I actually copy the link and go to tiny URL, I can shorten this link for them so that it's easier for them to be able to find. So then you would just copy that, send that out to parents, copy that, put it in your Google Classroom, whatever you would like to do. Okay, so now that you have the basic gist of how to set up your classroom, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of my classroom. So this is my virtual classroom that I have finished. It's kind of a work in progress. I keep changing things. This is my main classroom. There's lessons for them in reading. There's lessons for them in math, science, art, PE, music, as well as a character trait. So when they click on all of these things, it will take them to our district website. It will take them to iReady. It will take them to Mystery Science. It will take them to an art program showing them how to draw a tree. It will take them to our district website again for our PE teachers' activities. And then this takes them directly to our music teacher's virtual classroom. There's also other things that they can click on. If they click on this ball, it will take them to the gymnasium. I will show you that in just a moment. If you click on the school bus, it takes them to some virtual field trips. If you click on the art bucket, it will take them to an art classroom. This little utensil container takes them to a cafeteria. This STEM poster takes them to a STEM classroom. This little guy takes them to Prodigy. This takes them to iReady. This takes them to my own YouTube channel where I'm reading Flora and Ulysses to them. And then this button here takes them to Storyline Online. And then both of the sets of books takes them to a library that they can go and hear different books. So if they would click on the school bus, it would take them to this slide here that has a couple of different links for them to go on virtual field trips. And then again, they just click this little button here. It takes them back to the classroom. This is the STEM lab. There's some Lego things that they can look at. They have how to make slime, how to make different art or science activities, STEM activities. There's a video of Steve Spangler doing kind of a Rube Goldberg project. This poster here takes them to Mystery Science. The next one is our gymnasium. This is a YouTube tutorial how to make an outside obstacle course. This is a fitness video, how to dribble a basketball, the national anthem. If we scroll down, the cafeteria gives them different recipes. So they click on the pizza and they would learn how to make a pizza. If they click on the yogurt parfait, it would teach them how to make that. Cookies, quesadilla, lots of different toppings for toast, and choosemyplate.gov. And the library, every single one of these books is a YouTube video on somebody reading those books. And then the art center, this little image of the Bob Ross and Peapod the squirrel takes them to somebody reading that book. The Bob Ross poster takes them to different Bob Ross YouTube videos. Make Lunch Doodles with Mo Willems takes them to YouTube videos on how to draw with Mo Willems. Art Hub for Kids takes them to their YouTube channel. And then Let's Draw Kids takes them to a lot of different drawing videos. So I hope this helps you in designing your own classroom. It's a lot of fun. Just make it your own with your personality and have fun with it. If you have any questions, just go to the description below and I will put my email address so you can ask me any questions that you might have. Thanks so much for watching.